Welcome back. You're still watching In the Game. Yes, we said we're going to take you to Qatar. But before we make a quick stop, let's talk about the FIFA lifting of the ban for the Kenyan Football Federation. Now, this came as a good news for Kenyans as the Federation of International Football Association. FIFA lifted the ban imposed on Football Kenyan Federation in February 2022. This is in accordance with that Article 16 of the FIFA statutes. Now, this decision was taken following a letter sent by FKF General Secretary Barry Otieno to FIFA, in which he confirmed that the Kenyan government, as represented by the newly appointed Cabinet Secretary of Sports, Honorable Ababu Namwamba, has reinstated the FKF Executive Committee with immediate effect. Now, the FKF General Secretary further asserted that the FKF offices had been handed back to the association's elected leadership. Upon the lifting of the suspension, a FIFA CAF mission will be deployed to Nairobi in order to define the next step for the Football Kenyan Federation and also to meet up with newly appointed Cabinet Secretary for Sport. Finally, the lifting of the suspension of the Football Kenyan Federation will take place without prejudice to the ongoing investigations and the court proceedings at national level. Now, to join us in this conversation will be Kenyan football commentator who is in Qatar covering the FIFA World Cup, Moses Wakhisi. Thank you so much for standing by. Now, of course, the news about...
hope you're doing well in Nigeria.
Yes, we're doing well, so well in Nigeria. Let's go straight to it right now. The news about the lifting of the ban on the Football Kenyan Federation, a lot say maybe it's not coming as a news for celebration. As they say, fans of Kenya say that even with the lifting of the ban, there are no reforms done on ground at the Kenya Football Federation. What are your thoughts on this?
I think it's not even about the reforms that the country is supposed to do. I think in black and white, Kenya has wasted a lot of time. And this counts because the former Cabinet Secretary of the Sport, that is Ambassador Amina Mohammed, did make a very terrible decision, I will say, to go ahead and suspend the leadership of the Football Kenya Federation, former caretaker committee, for the caretaker committee, former transitional committee. And in black and white, she knew that every decision that body, the caretaker committee and also the transition committee were making, people would not recognize it. And a lot of people actually tried to go all out, trying to tell the cabinet secretary what needs to be done. But she never took those sentiments. Now you can see Gianni Infantino met with Ababu Namwamba. After just some deliberation, a decision was met. And Football Kenya Federation leadership have been given back the mandate to run football in the country. But I know as that happens, Nick Mwendo, who is the Football Kenya Federation president, has a court case. So at this particular time, Doris Petra, who is the vice president, is the person who is at the helm and leading the Football Kenya Federation at this particular point up and until Nick Mwendo actually clears his name. Now the current Minister Ababu Namwamba has said that he will try as much as possible to support the federation. And yes, a decision has been made, and we hope it will be a decision that will be able to prosper and also to lift the Kenyan football.
We are crossing our fingers and hoping that that decision will work in favor of the Football Kenyan Federation. But after that revelation on Netflix by the FIFA uncovered video, a lot say that maybe FIFA has lost its moral authority on football generally. Now, is this a situation of a kettle calling the pot black?
I think it is a decision that ought to have been made because in black and white, if you look at FIFA, they have their own issues. For instance, if you have an issue in your house, do you want to resolve that issue or do you want your neighbor to come and aid you in resolving that issue? I know it can work either way, but FIFA have always been very, very adamant that their issues should be dealt by themselves. In black and white, if you look at it at one side, you will say, no, if there is a gross misconduct, then allow a different body altogether to come and try and assist to be able to quell those issues. But for FIFA, government interference in one of their articles is one thing they do not condone. They cannot tolerate. And having that in mind, then FIFA has all the rights to say, let us solve all our issues. And if the members then stand up and say that, yes, these things are not moving in accordance to our statutes, then it should be an issue to be dealt with the members of the federation or with the members of FIFA. And that is them just being adamant, maybe not the best way to do their stuff, but that is their house, that is their decision, and that is how they're doing their things. So if it is bad, yes, others will say it is bad, but others will say their rules allow them to do so.
Okay, let's move away from that right now. I know you're in Qatar covering the games for the African teams in Qatar, the FIFA World Cup. So it's been a jolly ride for African teams there. Mixed results coming from here and there in the group for the African teams represented. So looking at Senegal clinching the first ticket as the African side to the round of 16. What's your evaluation of that game for yesterday?
I think it was a very, very spectacular kind of an affair and nerve-wracking. I was actually in the stadium watching that game, and trust you me, it was a jovial moment to see Senegal get that important victory. I know when we think about Senegal, it all began with Morocco, I should say, because of them having to secure that important first victory for the African side. And it also gave Ghana a reason to smile. And after that, in the second tie, the Ghanaians were able to get a smile, but also of key importance. The Senegalese are dancing and they're saying, yes, we are into the next round. And they're very, very optimistic. Speaking to some of their fans yesterday, they're very, very cordial and also jovial, saying that they believe this might be the time that they might be able to go all out and clinch this title. Not the easiest of a feat, but it is a step at a time. But they have the tenacity, they have the mentality. So the question will be, will they have the much needed goals to be able to secure the wins?
Okay, we cross our fingers. It's the round of 16 that they call the knockout stage, where the boys will be separated from the men. Thank you so much, Moses Wakhisi, for joining us on the show today.